Hello, hello. All right, today it is Union Pacific. And with Union Pacific, you're going to start off giving, first you're going to start off putting trains on designated spots. The trains have a color space where you're going to place them, and you're going to place these different company trains onto the board. Each player is going to get 3 randomly drawn track cards, which display a type of track on them that you can put trains on. You're going to get 1 share of a Union Pacific company, and you're going to get dealt 4 other shares from a deck, and everyone's going to look at their 4 shares, and you're going to choose 1 of your shares. And what you're going to do is you're going to place it out on the board face down, and once everyone does that, they're going to reveal the share that they chose, and that is going to be your initial investment, showing to everybody you are invested in that stock. All right, so that's what the players get. To the side of the board, you have a rail stack that you're going to get cards from, and you have stock cards that you're going to get to draw from. There's also a stock deck, and it's divided into 3 sections, and you have these dividend cards, and when they come out, you're going to pay dividends to those companies. So you're going to have 3 dividend payouts shuffled in to this large deck, 1 dividend share shuffled into the stack of 18, and then you're just going to have 6 company stocks. And what you're going to do is you're going to put this stack on top of here and this stack on top of that. So you'll have 4 dividend payouts shuffled into the game. You're also going to get a summary card that's going to give you the name of all the railways, kind of their symbol that's located on the board, how many stock shares each company has, how many trains are available to place out onto the railways, and the type of track they can be built on. There's 4 different types of track. Additionally, if you look at each card, it tells you how many trains there are, how many shares there are of that stock, how many trains there are available, and the types of track they can be built on. Okay, so one of the things you can do on your turn is you can draw a piece of track and add it to your hand, and these are not seen by the other players. And when you do that, you can then what you have to do is after you draw a card, you're going to choose one of the cards you have, one of the 4 cards in your hand, and you're going to expand that track. So I can either expand on track that is solid white, solid black, or has a black, white, black, white. So you'll see there's like this track here, it's solid black. This one has no line down the middle. Solid black here. You have the black, white up here. So there's certain types of different track, and you can only build on those tracks if you have a card that matches it, and if the train company you want to build has that type of track. So this one could be built on the one with no line in the middle or the one with the solid black line in the middle. So what you do is you then decide where you want to build. And you don't have to build on anything you own. You can just build anywhere you want. Like I could look here and see, okay, these are companies that can be invested in. Maybe I'm going to want to invest in one of these, so maybe I'll build track on it. Everyone knows I have this track, but what they don't know is I also have these different companies. And so maybe I see I have a share of this company. There's 2 more out on the board. So maybe that's going to be a track that's going to expand. So maybe I want to build my track for this company. So this has 3 options. And one of the options is black, white, which I have, or solid black, which I have. So then what I do is I see, well, where's this company started? And it starts here. You have to build out from the company. You have to connect either to its home center or connect to one of the trains. I can't place a train up here by itself because it's not connected. So here it has black, white, and I have black, white. So what I would do is I'd take this card and it would go into a face-up discard pile, so everyone knows that's what I'm building. And then I would come over to the box of trains, and I would grab the train, and I would place it onto the track like that. And then next, after you place your train, you're going to take a stock share. You can take either one of the face-up ones, or you can take an unknown. So let's just say, since I placed on this company, I take this company and I add it to my hand. Then you're just going to replace that with the top card from the deck. If 4 of these match up, you wipe it out and put out 4 new cards. And then before my turn's over, if I want, I can then look at all my shares and I can exchange one for the Union Pacific stock. How I would do that is I would take one of the shares in my hand that they don't know that I have. So like maybe I would take this one that has 7 shares available, and unknown to them, I would just take it face down and I would put it in the box so that they don't know what it is. And I would take a Union Pacific stock. And now what they don't know is that this company only has 6 shares available, no longer 7 out there. Next option, let's say it goes around and everyone's gone and it's my turn again. All right, instead of doing what I just did, what I can do instead is I can come over here and I could draw a piece of track and I could see what it is and I could put it in my hand, and then I could look at my hand of shares that I have, and I can do a couple different things. I can either take one single share and place it face up in my portfolio, and then I would look at my rail cards and I would choose one to discard, and that would be the end of my turn. Or instead of placing one face up, I could place 2 different kind face up like this. So I could play this one and this one, and that would be another action, and then I would take my rail card and discard it, and that'd be the end of my turn. Or instead of doing that, I could look at the shares in my hand and I could play one, as I said, or multiple of one share stock to the table. So I could take like my 2 Union Pacific stock if I wanted and place them face up, and then the other ones would just stay in my hand unknown to the other players. And as I showed earlier how the dividend cards are shuffled into the deck, what happens is when those cards come out, it's going to pay dividends, but it only pays to the cards face up on the table. It will not pay dividends to the unknown cards in your hand. So next we have paying of dividends. So let's say somebody has taken a card from the row and they have to replace it. So they take a card to replace it in, it's a dividend card. They're going to set that aside, take another card, and replace the row. Then dividends are going to pay out. So dividends are, each company gets $1 million for each station they have, which they have 1, so that's $1 million, plus each train. So this company has 1 station, 1 train. It would pay out $2 million to anybody who has KCC. Well, it pays it out to the primary holder. The secondary holder gets half that amount. So primary would get $2 million, secondary would get $1 million. The primary holder is the person who has the most stock. The secondary is the person who has the second most. Anyone below that gets nothing, regardless if they're invested in the company. If people are tied for first place, then the primary and secondary share totals are added together and divided by 2 and paid out. And if the secondary are tied, the amount, which is the primary amount, divided by 2, so like this would pay out $2 million. So secondary is $2 million divided by 2, or cut in half. So that's $1 million. And then that amount is divided in half among the tied second players. However, the lowest you can get is $1 million. So because the $1 million splits into 500,000, they don't get anything. If it had been $2 million, then it would split into 2 payments of $1 million to each person. You always round down also when you're determining an amount. So let's say, let's see, like here's yellow. Yellow has 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. So yellow's going to pay out 5 million to the people who have it. I have 1 stock of 5 million, or 1 stock of the yellow company. This player has 2, all right, and nobody else has anything. So this player is going to get the full amount, the $5 million. All right, I am the secondary holder, so I get 5 million divided by 2, and that is 2.5 million. Well, it doesn't pay out the 0.5, so I only get 2 million. You always round down. So you would just come over to the money stack, and one player would get $5 million, and I would get $2 million. And the game keeps going, and once the fourth dividend card has come out of the stack, that is going to trigger the last payment of dividends and the end of the game. The last thing for me to cover is the Union Pacific stock. There is no Union Pacific Railroad that you build up on the board. It just pays out certain set amounts to the shareholders. So if this dividend card had come up, the first dividend card, there's a chart, and it tells you during the first dividend payment, the Union Pacific stock is not going to pay out any money to anybody. All right, but then once the second dividend comes out, whoever has the most shares is going to get $10 million, second most $8 million, then 6 million, 4 million, 2 million. So this pays out to the top 5 shareholders, whereas the other stocks only pay out to the top 2. When the third dividend card comes out, it's these amounts, and the fourth dividend card, it's these amounts. And after the fourth dividend card, the game is over. And that's pretty much Union Pacific.